So I've been talking about all-time great players on this show so far, like Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron. I now want to talk about arguably my favorite MLB player of all time, and that guy is Miguel Cabrera, okay? And we all know that Miguel Cabrera is an all-time great. Once he retires, he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer once that time comes calling for him. And for Miguel Cabrera's career, he's had a 19-year career so far. He currently plays for the Detroit Tigers. He was drafted by the Marlins, but he plays for the Tigers right now. And Miguel Cabrera, during his 19-year career, has been an 11-time All-Star. He's a 2-time MVP award winner. He won the Triple Crown back in 2012. And what the Triple Crown is it's an award where you lead the entire league in RBIs, home runs, and batting average. So he led the league in batting average, home runs, and RBIs in 2012, which is very, very hard to do. He's a 4-time batting champion, and he was able to actually win a World Series back with the Marlins during the early stages of his career. Now, for Miguel Cabrera's career, he's got a batting average of 313, okay, which is pretty good. That's really impressive. He's got nearly 2,900 hits. He, at the time of this episode, has 488 home runs, excuse me, 1,732 RBIs. Those are all-time great numbers. However, sadly, in my opinion, Miguel Cabrera's career will never be as great as it could have been. And again, when Miguel Cabrera was at his peak, for about a 5-year stretch, that guy was arguably the best player in all of baseball. At least he was the best hitter in all of baseball. His ability to hit for average, power, draw walks, hit the ball all over the field wherever he wanted to. You know, I talk about Aaron Rodgers being the most talented quarterback of all time just simply because he can pretty much throw the ball really wherever he wants with a great deal of velocity. Miguel Cabrera pretty much can hit the baseball wherever he wants on the field at any time he practically wants when he's going right. At least he could do that several years ago. He had such a sweet swing, and I've never really seen, at least in my time, a hitter be able to drive the ball to the opposite field the way Miguel Cabrera was able to do. Okay? His ability to drive the ball the other way, it's unprecedented. And Detroit is not a hitter's-friendly ballpark, nor is Miami, okay, the home of the Marlins. And at the time, they had a different stadium when he was there, but he made those ballparks look small, okay? And like I said, Miguel Cabrera is an all-time great, but sadly, Miguel Cabrera's career will never be as great as it should have been because in 2012, when Miguel Cabrera won the Triple Crown, at that time, he was 29 years old and the best player in the sport. And everyone at the time was saying, man, Miguel Cabrera, he's special. He's going to win 3 or 4 more MVP awards. He's going to go down in history as a guy that's going to hit 600 to maybe 700 home runs. They thought that Miguel Cabrera was going to go on a Barry Bonds type run throughout the rest of his career. And honestly, I couldn't blame them because at the time, Miguel Cabrera seemed unstoppable. And of course, in 2013, he won another MVP award, and he's won a couple more batting titles ever since he won the Triple Crown in 2012. But in the last 9 years of Miguel Cabrera's career, he's kind of been a disappointment. He's not lived up to the long-term contract. He's not lived up to that big-time contract the Detroit Tigers gave him several years ago. And in the last 5 years of Miguel Cabrera's career, he's been an average first baseman. And that's being generous. And a big reason why Miguel Cabrera was not able to continuously sustain the type of greatness people thought he was going to sustain was because he simply just got injured way too much. His body broke down in 2013, and it hasn't stopped breaking down ever since. In 2013, he had a groin injury in which he played through. He didn't get surgery on it in the season. He played through it, and he probably should have had surgery at the time, but he didn't. In 2014, he had surgery for bone spurs in his right ankle. In 2015, he was suffering from injuries, and he actually missed the All-Star game. And I know that because I was there in Cincinnati in hopes of getting to watch Miguel Cabrera play, but unfortunately he was injured, so he couldn't play in the game. And in 2017, he suffered a herniated disc. And in the last few years, he's had ankle injuries. And the sad thing is, over the past 5 to 9 seasons, whether Miguel Cabrera wants to admit it or not, I guarantee you, if you put a lie detector to him, he'll tell you that he's been working on his body rather than his actual game. Miguel Cabrera, in the past few off seasons, I guarantee you this is true, based on his injuries. He's probably had to spend more time trying to get his body right for the season rather than actually trying to work on his actual game, okay? And anytime you're trying to work on your body so much and not so much your skills, then you kind of know that you're heading towards the end of your career. And in my opinion, injuries and his him aging not so gracefully, that robbed Miguel Cabrera of being a top 10 hitter of all time. Because if you put Miguel Cabrera's best season in his prime up with the all-time greats, he's probably not quite the greatest hitter of all time. In fact, he's not. I'm not going to say that he is. He's not quite Ted Williams. He's not quite, guys like Babe Ruth and Barry Bonds, even though Barry Bonds cheated. Not quite in that Hank Aaron category. But Miguel Cabrera had a chance to go down as one of the 10 greatest hitters of all time. And unfortunately, just due to injuries and his body breaking down, he just is not going to be able to reach that status. And it's pretty sad because anytime you know a guy has a chance to go down in the history books that way, you root for them. And I don't think Miguel Cabrera's career will ever be remembered the way it should be because of his body breaking down and because of his injuries. Miguel Cabrera is an all-time great player and one of the greatest Detroit Tigers players of all time. He deserves to be celebrated, no doubt about it. But sadly, Miguel Cabrera's career will not be as great as it should have been when it's all said and done. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God-blessed day, and I'm out.